Welcome back, and thank you for joining for another one of Mike and Billy's whiskey reviews. And today I'm going to bring you a little special treat, a sample that I was sent by one of my buddies at Scotch Addicts on Facebook. This is the Octomore OBA Concept 59.7% ABV. This is Concept C_0.1. This is an Octomore that does not come with an age statement. It does not come with a ppm level. They're not telling us anything. But what they are telling us is only I believe 300 bottles of this were even bottled and sold to the public. So I was not able to get a bottle of this, but fortunately, I'm a part of this great group on Facebook called Scotch Addicts that has people from all over the country. And I think we have roughly 17,000 members. Not that I'm an admin or anything, I'm just a member. But it was a group that is a great group of people. They don't buy, they don't sell, they don't talk about prices of whiskey, but they're just people that talk about whiskey. Anytime people get a whiskey purchase, they want to show off their collection, or even people that are just getting new to whiskey, they will come to Scotch Addicts and they will get expert advice. It's the only way I can say it. There's a lot of people, a lot of whiskey reviewers on that site, and they're just really people that don't want to do anything besides talk about whiskey. Not sell whiskey, not try to sell you on a YouTube channel or some type of sponsorship, just purely whiskey fanatics. So it was one of my friends, a gentleman over in Pennsylvania, and I really hope I'm saying this name right, Parag Amin. Parag and I have been friends on Facebook. We met through the Scotch Addict site, and he was showing that he was one of the lucky few 300 some people that was able to get a bottle of the Octomore Concept. And I just, posted on his post like, man, haven't had many Octomores. That seems like a great one. I would love to try it someday. Like many other people did. And he reached out to me and said, you know what, Mike? I'll send you a sample. He doesn't know that I review whiskey. He wasn't asking for anything. He private messaged me and said, I'm just going to send you a sample of it, man, to see what you think of it. Now, Brog and I have had conversations on the Facebook channel before, so I'm not saying that you go on this whiskey channel and then everyone will just start sending you whiskey. It's like anything else. You got to build relationships. But we have talked many times about different whiskeys that he has and that I have and what we think about different whiskeys. And when he got this, I made it known that I was very interested in it, being a huge fan of Islay and smoky whiskeys. And generously, he sent me this really nice sample that I've actually had 2 drams out of. So it's a pretty big sample. I think it's a 70 CL or 70 milliliter. And I am going to tell you guys what I think. Try to save a little something of it. I want to compare it to the Octomore that I recently just reviewed, the 07.1. So I'm just going to have maybe just a wee bit more since it's free. And I don't think he's one of my subscribers, but I'm going to send him something nice, a couple of nice sherried whiskeys. A Glendronach 21 and a Macallan 25, the old Remy version, because he was so generous, just to reach out and just say, hey, Mike, give me your address. I'm going to send you a whiskey that only a few hundred people on the planet have the opportunity to drink. So reach out to Scotch Addicts if you're ever around. It's one of my favorite groups on Facebook. Anyway, let's get to it. Octomore Concept OBA. I imagine that stands for Octomore Black Art. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't do a ton of research on this one. Other than it's 59.7 ABV, and other than that, they don't tell you anything. Natural color. Oh, that's dark, buddy. It almost looks like a sherried whiskey. Almost like a cognac color. Incredible. And again, I'm using my new glass. I have plenty of Glencairns, but I'm really loving this glass. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I picked it up at the Party Source. I was just walking, and it was one of the things they had at the checkout counter. So I said to myself, like gum or, Inquirer magazine. I said, what are these? And they're like, new whiskey glasses. And I said, great, I'll take one. $3.99. Getting some great aromas off it. All right, let's get to it. Wow. I just did the Octomore 07.1. And this is more approachable, instantly. Even though it's a slightly higher ABV, and I mean slightly, 0.2% or 0.4 proof more. 119.4 compared to 119. But on first smell, I would say it's older than the 5-year-old 07.1. Definitely more accessible. Smoke's a little different. It's more of a tobacco-y smoke, if that makes any sense. It's almost like if you took Lagavulin or Lefroy, or let's just say you take a Brooklotti Octomore, and you blow that smoke through tobacco leaf. It's like that. Now I'm picking up some chocolate. Now I'm picking up chocolate and that beef brisket bark, which I got on the other Octomore. And something I'm not quite getting. It's like, you know, I've only said this about one other whiskey, and that was a Barora, 30-year-old, I believe. But I'm picking up a hay characteristic. Like it smells like hay. Like hay as soon as they rolled it, put it in the bale. I'm originally from Quad Cities, a little town, a few group of towns on the Mississippi River in northern Illinois. A lot of farmers there. And cousin had a farm, and then, you know, he had cousins and everything help him when they were, you know, bundling the hay and putting it in the hay barn and everything. Fortunately, I was too young to do any row work when my cousins were of age, but this has that hay smell to it that I've only gotten, like I said, in a Barora 30-year-old. Maybe it was a 35-year-old. I should know that. But it's not the same hay, but it's still that very similar smell. It's almost like smoked hay. Smoked hay with beef brisket bark laid on top of it. That's actually a pretty good way to describe it. Yeah, smoky hay with beef brisket on top of it with maybe tobacco leaves covering everything. It's kind of like that's what it smells like. Let's take a first sip. Dark chocolate, honey, rich, thick, Black Forest honey. As dumb as this sounds, black beans, like Chipotle chicken burrito black beans. Yeah, that's, man, this concept, this has got to be older than 5 years. If it isn't, and the ppm's got to be lower than the 208 on the Octomore 07.1 on this version, because the smoke feels lessened. It's not as dense. It's a more accessible whiskey. Wow, that is incredible. You know the first time you ever had an Octomore? Imagine that, but even better. Boy, I tell you what, Param, if this is what you're drinking on a daily basis, my friend, you are doing well. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of my Fiji water in here, just to see if it can open up a little bit. Not gonna be real measured. It's high ABV, it's a young whiskey, I'm not worried about ruining it. Again, going with a little bit better water than the Dasani, as recommended by one of my viewers. All right, so I'm gonna swirl this around. See when I'm picking up a little bit of water. Now the chocolate's more prominent with water right away. Oh, wow. That hay mixed with honey and tobacco leaf is just incredible in this. I'm no smoker, but tobacco leaf before it's burnt, it's almost like it's that with beef brisket bark. I'm saying the same thing. Beef brisket bark, tobacco, hay, and dark chocolate. It's all over the place, it seems like, but I'm telling you, this dram brings it all home, all of it. Wow. Now I'm mad because there's no bottles of this available. I'm gonna have to pay a ridiculous amount in the secondhand market to get some of this. Octomore, OBA, Concept, C _0.1, 59.7% ABV. If you're lucky enough to get your hands on this whiskey, do not share it with anybody. If you are a fan of single malt Scotch whiskey, and if you're watching our channel, I'm assuming you are, since we only have 600 some subscribers in the entire world. This is one you keep for yourself. Have you ever had Lord of the Isles by Ardbeg, the 1976, 77? I had that a couple times. My brother-in-law has it. And you know what? I'm the only one he shares it with. And I had to work for 3 years to get him to share that with me. I had to actually start a YouTube whiskey channel and get him to agree with some of my tasting notes before he would share it. That is how stingy you should be with this whiskey. I'm gonna give it a 92 out of 100. It is an excellent whiskey. If you can get it $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, well worth the price. It is smoke and refinement personified. Maybe not personified, but it's good. So, you know what the score is. Until next time, I want to thank you for joining us for another one of Mike and Billy's, or actually joining me for another one of Mike and Billy's Whiskey Reviews. Bill will be back very soon. We tried to get together the other day, but he had to do something with his mom. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, we'll keep bringing these videos. We're gonna keep pumping them out for you, bringing you what we love. And until next time, I wish you happy drinking, and I'll see you in the comment section.